What's up, everybody? This is Angry Hippie Lady, and I built a little something, and I was talking to somebody in Skype, and so I really didn't want to record my voice at that time, and so I figured I'd do a little bit of after recording. It's probably for the best because this took me an hour to do, in between getting distracted talking and just not really knowing what I wanted to do with this. So this is going to be a build that I'm going to do on Ucraft, and I'm going to be doing it with Soul Reaver or Android Reaver. Yeah, that's his YouTube name. And he just recently started recording. But we're going to be building this together, and this is just a little kind of idea that I had for it, because he said he really didn't have an idea yet of what he was going to do, so I figured I'd do a little something and let him see my thoughts, which is usually what I do, which you can see off in the background. That's the farm that I built over at the Wither Arena. I built it in Creative first, and also every once in a while you'll see the bed prank, how I first set it up. So yeah, it's strange how this developed, honestly, but you'll watch that. You'll see that if you stick around. Just building is fun. I've recently gotten into building, and it's strange watching myself build. Actually, I need to stop watching that and actually talk about what I mean to talk about. On some Ucraft video fairly soon, I'm going to be talking about some pretty interesting things. I know Android Reaver talked about ghosts a few episodes ago, and that kind of spurred some memories. I've had a few encounters with strange things, and in my own house, that is, and so as other family members. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about that, and just kind of do a little bit of a teaser right now. We used to always tell ghost stories, and you know, the typical what was one my dad used to always tell me? He used to always tell me about this character, bloody eyes and bloody bones. Oh. And how if you looked out your window at night, he would be staring back at you. Well, I still can't look out the window without thinking about that. But he also told me about the Golden Arm Man, where he lost one arm, and he was still out in the woods looking for it, and so if you listened real close, you could still hear him looking for his arm. And then he would always, you know, the general, you would be so intense on the story that you wouldn't, you know, really be paying attention to your surroundings, and so somebody would come up behind you and scare you or something like that. And you know, that's the typical ghost story that you hear. And then you get into the personal ones, which are actually kind of creepy. Old youth minister of mine, who he's moved on to another church, and we still keep in touch some. Me and him are, I'd like to think, good friends. And he told me this one story of this house in Bath, which is a town fairly close to me. It's about 30-40 minutes from here. And I know when I was a youngin', which I still am, when I was in elementary school, we went, oh wow, my voice just went full country. We went to Bath because it has the oldest church in the in the state, I think. I think it's just a state, yeah. And so we go there, see that. And there's I wouldn't say a zoo. Well, there used to be, a museum there. And it had I can't remember if it was a crocodile or an alligator. Honestly, I just remember being scared by it. But, so I've been there before. And, Mike was telling me that, they'd gone there, and there were some tourists there, of course, and they were telling them about, they were telling them ghost stories and trying to freak out the tourists, and, so Mike was, just kind of chilling, listening to the story and everything, and he looks up at the house, and I want no, it's not the Bonner house. Bonner house is somewhere else. It's just some house there in the historic part of it. And, there was this girl in the window. She had moved the curtain back and was brushing her hair. And, Mike did a double take, and, he, like, shook his head, what you do when you see something that you don't expect to see, and looked back, and she was gone. And so he's like, well, I was seeing something, this light must have shone just right so that it looked like somebody was there in the window or whatever. And he tried to, disprove it any way he could, being a skeptic. And, so they, him and his friends were talking, and one of them said, have any of y'all ever seen the girl in the window? And Mike just went crazy. He was like, what? You've seen her too? And turns out that many people have seen this girl in this window. And let's just say nobody's living there. So, yeah. One of the very rare full body apparitions. Or at least considered rare. I don't know. More happened than are recorded / documented, whatever. So, yeah, that was one that always sent chills down my spine. There's one story that I'm not going to talk about while I'm on my own. It scares me, and it happened to me. It doesn't seem real thinking back to it, but it happened, and that's all I'm gonna say because I'm actually very scared right now. Let's just leave that. So yeah, I've had some strange experiences. I've heard things. You see things fall that shouldn't have fallen, or move that shouldn't move, and stuff like that. For moving things that definitely shouldn't have moved, to kind of solidify that I'm not on any kind of active fault or anything. So there shouldn't be any tremors. The biggest tremor we've had, which was actually slightly recent, within the past year, but that was from Virginia. And so we know, and that wasn't even much of one, we know when something's gonna happen. And this was a while back. I haven't had a recent occurrence. At least none that I remember. So, you hear things, or you sense strange things. Things happen that shouldn't, and all that. And it actually spurred a book, all that that was occurring. And I wrote it for a while, and to kind of, help myself deal, I guess, with the experiences. And eventually they ended, and so did the book. But yeah, I'm definitely a believer in paranormal things. I I think there's a good possibility that there is. Well, I definitely feel like there's a life after death. That, for me, that's a given, almost. There's not many things in this world that are, a definite thing, and to me that feels definite, but maybe that's me wanting to believe that there's something after. And I think we all wonder what's there, what's out there past that, and I think it'd be cool to find out, but I don't think we ever truly will know. It's just not meant for us to know. But until then, we have our ghosts and things. My brother had an experience in this house, which I've only heard from, I think it was from my dad or mom or one of them. He's never talked about it, but his experience was he was about 4 or 5 or so at the time, and he was looking down our hallway, which is where a lot of the activity has happened in the past, and he asked Mom who the old man down the hallway was. I've looked back at records, and our house is buried, or there was a house that's buried under ours. At least that's what I found out. And before that, there was a cow pasture. So, yeah. Thankfully, no Indian burial grounds or anything. Happy dance. That was what I was worried about, but no, we're good. No poltergeist coming out and smiting us for building on Native American soil. So yeah, just strange little things. I remember it was like 4 or 5 years ago, I think. Maybe, no, it was almost 4. Let's see, I was 16, so yeah, it's almost been 5 years now. I was sitting in the living room watching TV, and this was after my dad passed away. A lot of strange things happened right after that. And I was just, just watching TV like you normally would, and there was this shadow. And the shadow was in the shape of a person. It wouldn't come all the way into the living room. I've never had an experience in the living room other than, this. And I was in the living room, it could barely come in there. The living room has always felt safe. Don't ask why. I don't know. I don't understand it. It just feels safe in there. But the shadow, it looked like somebody was peeking around the corner. And you know, it wasn't, they would peek and stay. They would peek around the corner and then go away for a bit. And then peek around the corner and then go away for a bit. And then one time it just stayed there for a little bit. And I was home alone. I checked. I didn't leave the room. There was no way I was going to leave the room. I didn't, I was scared slightly. I mean, it wasn't like, it didn't feel bad. I didn't feel like I was in danger. But I was scared because I didn't understand, this thing. Or what was going on. And so I didn't know what to call it or say. So I called it Bob. It's the first name that came to mind. And as soon as I said Bob, it came back. And then it kind of stayed there for a second and then left again. And it would come back, and I looked at it and said, Bob, it's okay. You can go home. Or go away. And I didn't see it again. And I haven't seen it since. I don't know what it was. I'm crazy for talking to a shadow, I know. But I remember it clear as day. This shadow that I have no explanation for. Like I said, no one was home. There was no possibility. The windows were closed, so it's not like somebody was somehow causing a shadow in the house. The overhead lights were the only lights. So it wasn't me. It's unexplainable. I don't understand it. And I don't think I ever will. All I know is that there was something. I don't know what it was, but it responded or reacted to me talking to it. And I feel absolutely insane saying this. There was one time, I mean, this one actually kind of, I almost broke my ankle trying to get away from this one. But I was in my room, and I hadn't been back here for a while. I'm here now. Because I got bad feelings from my room. Like I wasn't alone. And I come back to my room, and I'm on my iPod. I'm kind of looking through things, and I don't know how, because I wasn't even, I wasn't on this app or anything. But I looked down, and the word cut is written on my iPod, and I run out of my room like a like a scaredy cat, and I don't return for months. And now my heart feels like it's about to bust open. Because I don't talk about this. It's like, I don't know, it's like a rule. You don't talk about it. So those are a couple of my experiences. I've had others. Like I said, one I definitely do want to talk about because it's a very strong experience, and for my sake, I want somebody in the call with me, or in a call with me, just because it does scare me. Like that one. This one, the one that I'm going to tell, it just scares me even more. So, I still got a few minutes to talk to you guys. So, I would like to know your opinions on either the stories I've told, or if you have any stories. Or just your opinions on ghosts. Do you believe in them? Do you think it's even possible? And if it is possible that there are ghosts, is it possible for us to communicate with them, or for them to communicate with us? Honestly, I've been a skeptic for many, many years, and still kind of am. I still try to disprove anything that happens, just because I want to be sure. And so, yeah, I believe in the paranormal. Like Android Reaver said, I don't believe in taps and ghost hunters and all those TV shows. That's all just for show. But there is something out there, and it's something we don't really understand, but it's something. And some of us experience it, some of us don't. And it's hard to explain. There's some people who have experiences that aren't true experiences, but they think they are, like, you know, something moving, and it's completely possible that it just fell because of gravity, you know, something like that. Or pipes banging. Well, you know, if you have old pipes, it's completely possible that they're just moving, or your house is settling, buildings is settling, you know, whatever. Hear footsteps. Somebody could be up there, you know, echo, something. And then there's EVPs. I wouldn't mind having one. Ouija boards are something different too. But that's not for today. That's for another day. So now that I've completely freaked myself out, I'm going to go spend hours and hours talking to Dash and never sleep again. So yeah. This video has a few more minutes, but thank you all for watching. As I said, if you want to leave a comment, just kind of let me know your thoughts about those experiences, or about your own experiences if you've had any, or even if you believe. There's a lot of people out there who don't, and you know, that's okay. I know what has happened, in this, to me, and that's my experience. So, yep. Like I said, look forward to more ghost stories. I have a few more. And look forward to hopefully another adventures of an angry hippie within a few days. It's probably going to be me building that nether tower. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I am Angry Hippie Lady, and my person is being really derpy. And you know what? Peace out.